And let's go, I cannot fuck with no broke bitch. Oh, but I really want you go, bitch. Shorty stab me in the back on some motion. Say you love me, but I know that's bogus. I cannot fuck with no broke bitch. I cannot fuck with no broke bitch. I cannot fuck with no broke bitch. Say you love me, but I know that's bogus. Got you go high, yes, you remind me, yes. Stay beside me, yes, stay beside me, yes. Put your lips in the air, oh, you love me, yeah. You need nobody, I don't love. You don't need no friends, I got so love. Nigga talk to me, yeah, he was a coma. Nigga talk again, I bring my totally. No one else see chillin' with Susie. If you got guns, gonna shoot me. If you want love, go ahead and choose me. If you got guns, gonna shoot me. If you want love, go ahead and choose me. I cannot fuck with no broke bitch. Oh, look, but I really want you go, bitch. Shorty stab me in the back on some lotion. Say you love me, but I know that's broken. Got you go high, yes, you remind me, yes. Stay inside me, yes, stay inside me, yes. Put your lips in the air, oh, you remind me, yeah. You need nobody, I don't love. Never needed no friends, I got so love. Nigga talk to me, yeah, he was a promo. Nigga talk again, I bring my totally. No one else see chillin' with Susie. If you got guns, gonna shoot me. We could be stars out here tonight. Don't go back to reality. Side by side, we know the light. Don't go back to reality. I know I see this and I know that that, but I know that we both believe. We could be stars out here tonight. Don't go back to reality. We could be stars out here tonight. Don't go back to reality. Side by side, we know the light.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shore of Orion. I watched seabeams glittering down in 10 hours a day. All those moments we lost in time, like tears in rain. see things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire, shooting fire. I watched sea beams glittering down in 10,000 gates. All moments we lost in time, like tears in rain.
Well, I could log in and do some housing on retail. I'm not going to do housing, but I'm going to figure out how to go check out other people's houses because apparently they're bussin'. Some people have made Mona Lisa and stuff. Yeah. Well, guys, I've never been to housing. I don't even think I've done my intro quest on like teaching me about it. Housing dashboard, start tutorial. Oh. Well, if this proves I haven't done anything. All right, my first home. Welcome to the neighborhood. Feel free to explore, have a look at plots, blah, blah, blah. Speak to a steward, familiar. Okay. Can I fly here? Oh, look at that. Okay, now what do I do? Acquire a house. So I have to pick one? Do I pick one? I feel like I don't do this yet. Does this matter? Pick a plot. You can move it. Okay. As long as this isn't like any type of commitment bullshit and I can just move. How do I take Area 51? Can't? Ugh. Owned by Snowy Flake. Who are these people? Where do I? Okay, so I got to go to these other houses, these ones. 37, 38, 17, 42, 9, 25. I might be a 9 main. Let's go. It's also really close. 9. This isn't bad. I can work with this. What? Plot is already reserved.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Did you reserve this? No? Interesting. My house is in my guild neighborhood. Why are you here? Checking his gear. 237, 246. You know why. I do? How do I see his item level? 240s. Ooh, this guy's... Make fun of him. Get out ASAP. Bye. Bang. Skipped.
This pot is a fine choice.
Complete.
Look forward to seeing what you do with it.
House level. Level 1? God damn. Enter your house via the front door. Okay. Oh, loading screen. Cringe. All right. Do you need help getting started? Yeah, actually, I do.
House is what I believe they call a
Shut up, bitch. Click this button to enter the house decor, okay? Decorate mode. Click a decor and press R to place it in your house. Or click a decor. What it? Okay. Remove, toggle grid, rotate, mouse wheel down. Oh. It wants me to remove it though. Okay. Remove, R. Got it. Okay, big removal.
to look like a home.
Click this button to exit the house.
Will still be available in your house chest if you change your mind.
All right, now that we got this place, let's decorate. Blah, blah, blah. This guy's so retarded. How does he take 5 seconds to get past this tutorial? I know how to do it all already, and I'm going to let everyone know in chat that this guy is an idiot. Click this button. Decor placed. Wow, look at that. That is too big, apparently. Ignore collision with V. Whoa. Okay.
Floors, walls, and ceiling are your palette. Place what you want where you want it.
Solid. Big quest completion.
It looks like you've got the hang of decorating. I can't wait to see what...
And that's it. All right, let me leave and go to visit merchants selling decor.
There are a number of vendors in the town center who sell decor for your home. You should stop by and introduce yourself.
Okay, introducing myself. Hello, number 1. Maybe I should just buy it all, actually. This is cheap as fuck. Wait, hold on. This decor will be added immediately on purchase to your house. Oh, so you only own a certain amount. Like if I buy this table, it's infinite, is it? You have one table. Okay, no, so it's not infinite. You only have one. I understand. Okay, so I was right. Interesting. Yeah, owned 2. So I only have 2 crates. Interesting. I mean, other stuff isn't like this, is it? Like things you find out in the world? Okay, well, in that case, I don't really want to buy anything here. I just bought everything. Why do... Hold on. Why is it...
Thank you for browsing.
Interesting.
May I be of service?
All right, whatever.
Your coin is always welcome.
Purple quest. To die for. Easy. Completed. Once we talk to this person.
If you want to procure more exotic
Ooh.
you should speak with
Okay, you can do a lot of things with these squares.
far and
I feel like these 3 pieces are where it's at. This is where you actually make stuff like Legos. Wood. Carpets. Damn. Damn. All right. Cool stuff. What else do I do? Ask the last architect about other decors. This motherfucker?
we also
Okay.
have some
Decor treasure hunt. All right. Got a blue quest here. Take enough photos of your neighborhood. Photos? Huh? Photo. I remember there being like a camera toy. Do you use that now? Oh, take pictures. Ooh. Okay. Locations photographed. What locations though? Oh, maybe these, the blue arrow? 20%. Bang, got it. Make a secret room. Well, I was gonna... y'all gotta tell me how to get to other people's houses. I have no idea how to do it right now. I'm just doing these pictures real quick. You're doing a daily? Am I? Well, you know me. Big into...
I'm really excited that Dr. Mordecai Kedar has invited us into his home in order to have a conversation. And we're just going to be going over, like, just basically your history working in Israel, and then just your general thoughts and opinions on the conflict between Israel, Palestine, and the rest of the world, it seems like right now. Do you want to go over real quick your background in Israeli intelligence, as much as you're comfortable saying?
Well, I was born in Tel Aviv 71 and a half years ago to a family. My father and my mother originally came from Poland. My mother tongue was Yiddish, but I fell in love in Arabic, in the Arabic world, Arabic culture, Islam, thanks to a great teacher named Dov Iron, may he rest in peace, who was my Arabic teacher in the high school between the 9th and the 12th year. And because we learned Arabic, a group of 13 kids, we learned Arabic very seriously. We went like on block to serve in the intelligence when we were recruited in 1970 when we were 18. I spent and served in the intelligence 25 years. And I was released in 1995 with the rank of Brigadier General of the States. Meanwhile, I started my academic career, BA and then PhD in the 90s. I finished my PhD in 1997, and I became a teacher in the university in Bar Ilan for 28 years. I retired 2 years ago. Meanwhile, I published my PhD in this book in English, Assad in Search of Legitimacy, which actually analyzes the Syrian press from the linguistic point of view. Because the Middle East, it runs in Arabic. And if you master Arabic, really well, you can penetrate the minds and hearts even of people. But for this, you have to master the language. Without language, forget it.
We have this problem in the West whenever the Israeli government is publishing videos from either, usually stuff relating to the war in Gaza right now. You'll see in every comment section people are fighting a lot over, what was the last word, like shabia? For like a...
Sabiya.
Maybe, yeah, for like a...
Sabiya.
Yeah, for women that are taken captive, doesn't mean adult woman. I think for the Israeli translation, they had written in parentheses, like women that can bear children, basically. And a lot of people took issue with how this was phrased, but yeah, just that was over a single
There
word.
are two words in Arabic which to the Westerners sound the same. One is Sabiya, which is a young lady. Young lady. And Sabiya, which is a captive lady. Captive lady means a lady which you can use for any use. The question is, what do they say in that movie? Do they have Sabaya, means a plural of young ladies, or plural of Sabaya, means plural of captive women, which you can use to any purpose? Apparently I heard it. It sounds more like sex. Women which you can use or abuse. By the way, I have a clip on my computer. I think that the people of Daesh, of ISIS, are talking the same way about Yazidi girls, which were brought to them. So it's the same mindset. Hamas and ISIS.
Do you think that as somebody who studied Arabic really well and can speak fluently and read the language and everything, do you think that there is a failure sometimes to distinguish in Israel between different Arabic countries or communities, or do you think they all get lumped together, or do you think there's like an appreciation of the differences between all of them?
One has nothing to do with the other. The Arab nation is sharply divided to peoples, as we say, like the Moroccan one and the Algerian one, the Egyptian one, and Iraqi and Syria. But in these countries, they are again sharply divided according to the clan, in many cases, according to the religion. In Lebanon, the Christians are speaking different Arabic than the Druze or the Muslims. Once somebody opens his mouth, you know who he is and what he is. Here in Israel, you can hear differences in the pronunciation of Arabic in different villages, different Arab neighborhoods, because those speak in different ways to those. Now, this comes in societies which, for generations, live in clans, because the clannish societies in the Middle East are the result of the desert. In the desert, you have to stick to your source of water and to defend it, otherwise you are dead. And in order to defend your source of water, you cannot live as an individual, because the individual is weak while the group is strong. You have to live as a group. And the strongest group is the family, the father and the sons. After a generation, the grandchildren, the cousins. And after a generation, the second cousins, and the third cousins. What do you get? A clan, extended family, some would say tribe. The name doesn't matter. And the thing is that everybody has to be relative. And this actually what gives them a cohesiveness, which allows them, which enables them to face the other groups in the fight on the water. Because unfortunately, the desert doesn't have enough water. And this is the source of the mindset of the Middle East, which prevails in this area for who knows how many hundreds of thousands of years since human beings started to live in this area.
I'm curious for that because I've heard you talk about this in regards to your ideal plan for Palestine to be the kind of the emirate solution.
Because
right?
the Emirate solution is the only thing which is based on the land. This is why the Emirates and the Gulf, Kuwait, Qatar, the 7 Emirates in the United Arab Emirates, and 7, and Saudi Arabia and Oman are the only stable countries in the Middle East. Why? Because each and every one of them is one single clan. Kuwait belongs to Al Sabah. Qatar belongs to Al Thani. This is the name of the clan. Dubai belongs to Al Maktoum. Abu Dhabi, Al Nahyan. Saudi Arabia, Al Saud. Okay? So when you base a state on one consolidated, stable group, the country is flourishing. If you have oil like Abu Dhabi and Kuwait, you are because of the oil. If you don't have oil like Dubai, you make money out of business. Iran, Libya, two very heavy oil producers are amazing. Hell no, but of course, in spite of the oil. Why? Because they are sharply divided to 70-something clans in Iraq, 4 ethnic groups, Kurds, Arabs, and Persians, 10 religions, only in Iraq, 10 religions, and sects, who knows how many. So when the society is made out of so many groups, which never became a nation, there is no Iraqi nation. There are Iraqi citizens. But unlike in America, which citizenship makes you an American, here in the Middle East, you have to belong to us, to our clan, or to our religion, or to our sect, or our people. Otherwise, then we behave. And this is the mindset of the Middle East. And unfortunately, Westerners, when they come here, and although not the geography, the Iraq has the fakest, and maybe something else, and that's it. That's what they know. But they don't enter the door of sociology. They don't get it. They don't understand that Middle Eastern societies work according to totally different rules compared to Western rules in Western Europe or America. And this is the source of all evil. And this is the source of the failures which we saw in Afghanistan, in Iraq, everywhere when the West started or tried to design countries like Syria, like Lebanon, which were all designed by France between the two world wars. These are maidens. Britain, which established Iraq, learned from the mistake, and when they came out from the Gulf during the 60s into the 70s, they left behind them clannish states, means emirates. And this is why emirates are working, functioning as good countries, not as democracies, they're not democracy, but their culture, the clan culture, actually fits the new state, which is based on the traditional culture. While Syria, Iraq, Libya, Sudan, all are based on Western ideas of socialism, like the Ba'ath Party, both in Iraq and Syria, or liberalism, or democracy, or whatever comes from the West, which doesn't fit the societies. Just like if you try to run your iPhone with the system of Android, it doesn't work.
Why do you think, if you look at a country like Egypt, why do you think Egypt is like relatively stable compared to, say, Yemen from that
Egypt went through a process, a very agonizing process of dismemberment of the clans because of the High Dam. The High Dam Aswan Dam, which was built during the 50s by the Soviet Union, in order to modernize the state, because otherwise they had floods because of the Nile, had floods twice a year. But you cannot run a modern country when all the infrastructure is dissolved through the floods twice a year. So they decided to put an end to the floods by building the high dam in Aswan. And all the peasants who once lived on water which they got for free from the Nile, now they have to buy water and fertilizers because it's a desert. But who has money? So they moved to the cities. So millions of Egyptians, since the 60s, 70s, the 70s, moved from the village to Cairo, to Alexandria, Komoshi, Assyria, Beirut, or Europe, or America, in order to work. So the modern Egypt society is made not by clans, but by individuals who live in Cairo and all these cities. And when you live as individuals, you can bring in ideologies like Islamism, as we see tremendously in Egypt. You can bring in Nazism, like the nationalism of Egypt. You can bring all kinds of isms which do not have to compete with tribalism, which doesn't exist anymore, especially in the cities. In the villages, those who remain in villages are still Moorish society, but they are small, and they have the power in the city. So this Egyptian city resembles, let's say, New York or San Francisco, much more than Baghdad or Damascus.
Okay. And when you look at a country like Saudi Arabia, there are so many different people that live here. Is this all like...
No, Saudi Arabia is a country which is run by a family, extended family, and named Al Saud.
Yeah.
Means all the descendants of the founding king, who is the father of today's king, Salman bin Abdulaziz. His name was Abdulaziz, but from the family of Saud. And this is why the name of the country, Saudi, Saudi or Saudi Arabia. And as long as this clan, named the Saudi clan, is united,
5,
consolidated,
4,
and ruling the
3,
country,
2,
nobody can
1.
have any issue with it. Of course, the opposition, they have two oppositions, one being the South, which the Bin Laden came from, and one the Shia community which lives in Saudi Arabia, who lives in the east, next to Bahrain, since this part of the country. However, in Saudi Arabia, the name of the religious group is the Wahhabism, because they are part of this sect, kind of religious thing. And according to the Wahhabism, the Shia is some kind of infidelity. By the way, this is why they look at the Persians in Iran as people who are born as general Islam. This is part of the problem, which unfortunately people do not understand the depth of the enemy between Saudi Arabia and Israel. But it goes to this area as well.
Yeah, I guess my question is, I don't know the clan makeup of all the people of Saudi Arabia, but I imagine that you have your ruling family. Why is it that clan was able to rule the entire country instead of having to split the country?
This is actually a combination of clans,
Yeah.
which the founding father actually married one of the daughters of the leaders of all the clans which he annexed to his kingdom. He had dozens of wives. And this wife, all these tribes, they won't rebel against somebody whose daughter is there. Their children will be emirs, princes, or even kings. So
There's got to be something more that would hold it together, though, right? I can't imagine that just America's got to be like...
In the beginning, I talked about 100 years ago. He united the kingdom with the This is the way in the Middle East which you show your allegiance. You give him your God. This is the Middle East. 100 years ago, daughters were not asked so much with whom they want to be married. And in some cases, many cases, in the Middle East, until very well, girls are those who will be married with the cousins. Second cousin, third cousin, but definitely in the clan, because the other clan is the enemy. You won't give your daughter to the enemy. How come? They are Muslim, say now, not from us. This, I By the way, the price is tremendous. Genetic problems, which are reserved. And in Saudi Arabia, you are not allowed to marry a lady unless you both take a test for the Ministry of Health, and only with a license you can take the test in order not to perpetuate genetic problems.
Why do you think, when you look at the Palestinians today in Israel, what would prevent them from engaging in, I guess, a similar sort of like either through marriage or something else of being more united? Why do you think it's best for them to work as separate, kind of like Emiratis, I guess?
I'm not telling you what to do. I, as a researcher, go out and see how they behave. I see a situation that, let's say, Judean Samaria, what people call the West Bank. If you tell me the family name of somebody, I'll tell you where he lives. If his name is Jabari or Kawasmi or Nachi, Tamimi or Amusmina, he lives in Hebron, in Hebron. If his name is Masi or Tukan or Shaka, he lives in Nablus. If his name is Karmi, he lives in Tukana. If his name is Arika, he lives either in Jericho or in another place which is the extension of this. That's it. Means this is a clannish society, because in the clan system, clan mindset, the homeland is the village and the tribe, or the clan. This way, if you cross the street and you live within another clan, you will forever be viewed as a foreigner.
Do you think that Arabs in Israel, do you think they share similar feelings, or do you think not?
The Arabs in Israel, who are like 20% of our population, are what they call in sociology a society in transition. Because on one side, their background is the Arab world, the Islamic world, which is very clannish, and also Islam, what we say. By the way, Islam is rather young, only 14th centuries, compared to the clan system, which is already who knows how many hundreds of thousands of years. So some of them definitely are still clannish, some of them are Islamic, some of them are modern because of the friction between them and the Jewish modern liberal society as we are. Yet the problem is that it's like a half-baked cake. Some parts are closer to us, some of them are serving in the army because they are Israelized, I would say, all the way. While others, who, let's say, those who belong to the Islamic movement, especially the northern faction, which is very radical, like Hamas, the Israeli, those whose heart is with Hamas, they not only they don't serve the army, they consider the state to be a deed of Satan. And that's what they say. And still they are citizens and they get all the benefits of being a citizens of Israel.
Why do you think that for international media, or at least when I hear international advocacy for Palestinians, do you think that the world community that is pro-Palestinian, or even the Palestinians that are talking about Palestinian issues internationally, are they missing that clan aspect of Palestinians living in Nablus or Ramallah or Hebron? Or because I don't ever hear that internationally when they speak. It's always about the nation or country.
It's not politically correct to talk about clans. What are they? Tribes. It doesn't sound politically correct, Western Europe, but this is the situation. Maybe it's what I can do. What can I do? Look, the so-called Palestinians are carrying names like Al-Masri, means the Egyptian. Masarwa, Egyptians, in plural. Fayoum, from Fayoum in Egypt. Ismaili, from Ismailia, a town on the Suez Canal. Al-Khorani, from the Khoran in Syria. Al-Sorani, from Sor, means Tyre, in Lebanon. Sidawi, from Sidon, in Lebanon. Al-Hijazi, Hijaz is in Saudi Arabia, Mecca and Medina. Many of them carry names until this very day, which testify that these people are not originally from here. So what are they doing here? They came to war. Since the Zionist movement started to come to this country towards the end of the 19th century, there were jobs here. Tel Aviv, was established in 1909, still when the Ottomans were here, before the First World War. So many Arabs, Bedouins, came to work in Tel Aviv because there was jobs and income. And they became Palestinians. Okay, even the Arab world knows their origin because when they ran out in 1948, the War of Independence, they usually ran back to the countries which they came from. But those countries, under the flag of the Arab League, decided not to allow them to go back to the places which they originally came from. But they kept them in refugee camps until this very day. And unfortunately, the world still resuscitates this problem of the refugees. Where in the world do you see refugees from the 40s? And their great-grandchildren today are refugees. There is no such a thing in the whole world. Because according to UNHCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugees, you can be refugees up to 10 years, not even one day more. Up to 10 years. Secondly, you cannot inherit it to your children. Your children wait until you make children, until you settle. And the third thing, when you have a citizenship of any country in the world, you're not a refugee anymore. And lo and behold, in Jordan, for example, you have many citizens of the Kingdom of Jordan, yet they consider themselves to be refugees from here, and the world is paying for this. Mind-boggling.
Why do you think, if we even look at like Palestinian leaders, so people like Abbas or people like Arafat, why is it that they seem to be so oriented? Where do you think their desire for a state or a country comes from that's so separated from this idea of clans or families or where these people actually originate from?
First of all, Mahmoud Abbas was born in Tzfat, which is in the Galilee. Neither in Samaria, let alone Gaza. They seen before who was brought from Tunisia, in 1993 because of the Oslo agreements, and he's not one of them. This is why he doesn't go to visit neither Hebron, nor Nablus, let alone Gaza. Once he was in Gaza, and the bullet passed 10 centimeters near his face and killed one of his bodyguards. Okay, so he understood it. He's persona non grata in Gaza, undesirable person. Okay, so he doesn't visit Gaza anymore, and doesn't visit neither Hebron, nor Nablus, nor anyone, nowhere else. He goes out from his office in Ramallah only to go abroad. Show me another president in the world who functions like this. He was elected in 2006 for 4 years. They 14 days after this, because every year the head of the PLO, Abu Mazen, renews the authority of the PA president, Abu Mazen, with this. Okay, this is the democracy.
Sure, I understand.
So he is illegitimate. He is totally illegitimate in the eyes of the president. I mean, he's acceptable only as long as he brings them. The whole Republic. Arafat was born in Egypt. And when he became older, he started to return to his Egyptian name, and which is a totally different path. And he was accepted only as long as he continued to struggle against it. Even when he was signed on the lawn of the White House in September 1993, the Oslo agreement with Israel became with uniform as a combatant. Excuse me? He signed a peace agreement. He said always that this peace agreement is Hudaybiyah peace. Hudaybiyah peace means in Islam temporary peace.
Yeah, until you can
Which
fight
you
again.
give, which a Muslim is allowed to give an infidel, whether a Jew, Christians, or whatever, only as long as the enemy is too strong, invincible, deterrent, and dangerous. In this case, you can give it temporary peace. According to the Islamic mindset, it's called the Salam Hudaybiyah, means the peace of Hudaybiyah. According to the clan system, or clan wars, it's called Hudna. So, either Hudna or Hudaybiyah peace is what he said to his people every day that this peace is only temporary peace. And yes, he violated this in 2000 when he thought that we are too weak that we ran out of Lebanon in the days where Ehud Barak was the prime minister. So then he started the second intifada, started to blow up our buses and our restaurants and people in the street. More than 1,000 people were killed by Arafat and his groups. And not only this, he established the PLO, and the idea was that he will fight Hamas instead of us because we apparently think. And this was the whole reason of establishing the PLO. That Arafat will come in order to fight the Hamas and the Islamic Jihad without Bagatz and without B'Tselem, means without the Supreme Court, without the human rights organizations. Okay, but he didn't mean at all. Look, what he mean? He actually demonstrates. In this scarf, and this is the PLO flag. On one side it says Al-Quds Lana, Jerusalem is ours. Since when Jerusalem is theirs? When was Jerusalem a capital of anything connected to the Arab or the Islamic world? Not for one day. But the other side of the scarf is this, Palestine. This is why you need Arabic. Palestine, from the river to the sea. So where is Israel?
Not on that. Yeah.
Maybe in the sea, among the sharks. Okay? And this is Arafat. And unfortunately, we Israelis, especially the left side of the political map, they believed him. And this is why no left in Israel. There is almost no left because they fell in this trap willingly because they were warned time and again and again and again. You are deceived by this man. And you know what? Let me give you a story.
Can I ask a quick question before the story?
Yeah.
I'm curious. So let's say that that's the thought process that people who are negotiating from these positions, people like Arafat, aren't to be trusted. Do you think that that would have prevented, like, Israel from making peace with Egypt or Israel from making peace with Jordan if that same mentality had persisted? Or why do you think those were different?
Look, when Sadat made the peace with us in 1979, he had a fatwa. Fatwa means religious ruling by the Al-Azhar. Al-Azhar is the supreme religious authority of Egypt, which allowed him to make peace with the Zionists, with Israel, just like our Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, peace be upon him, gave to the infidels of Mecca in Hudaybiyah. Means that the peace between Israel and Egypt is based on the same idea of temporary peace, which will last only as long as Israel is powerful, dangerous, invincible. When will this pass? I don't know. So far, this peace exists. What will be with the day which they view or think that we are weak? I have no idea. But what they prepare in Sinai doesn't give good thoughts about what the intentions of the Egyptians are.
Do you think that Hussein in Jordan, do you think he felt the same way, that all of that peace was only temporary?
I didn't find the mention of Hudaybiyah in the peace between us and Jordan. And this is why the majority of the citizens of Jordan objected. They always say, your peace agreement with a ruling family. And the ruling family, don't forget, is not Jordanian. The ruling family is from the Hijaz. They were expelled by the Saudis. And the British gave them the Transjordan Emirate in 1924, which turned to be the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. And the majority, they are like less than 100 people, this family. They control a country with 90% of the people who define themselves as Palestinians, who have nothing to do with Islam. And the rest are Bedouins, who also do not share much with this clan. Only maybe the language, but not much. So this is the main problem of the Jordanian kingdom, that it is actually based on a family which will rule the country only as long as the army and the intelligence and the security are with them, because they are vicious. The Palestinians tried in 1970 to rebel against the kingdom. So the kingdom slaughtered them. Thousands of Black September. So this is Jordan. To say that this family will forever be the kingdom of Jordan, I have no idea.
I'm curious, you mentioned something for Arafat. Do you believe that Arafat, when you said that he kicked off or started the second intifada, do you think that he actually like planned and went through and started that? Or do you think he just kind of like hoped it would happen? Or
We have all the proof. There are books which were written based on documents which were found in his headquarters that he actually planned. And look, he never meant to take really care of the terror. We know the revolving door means when we told him to catch something from Hamas, he would keep the man during the day in, let's say, in one of the police stations, and for the night he was released to go home in order to come back the next morning. This revolving door. That's what he had. And he conned us day and night, and unfortunately the Israelis under Peres and Rabin, Daily, all this left, they believed him that he will fight Hamas without Bagatz and without B'Tselem, which this is why they lost the agenda.
okay, challenging question then. Do you ever feel like, or do you think that Palestinians have a justification for feeling like on the other end, while Israel might complain that Arafat never meant to fight against Hamas or fight against any of the terroristic elements of Palestinian society, that Israel never meant to stop the settlement expansions, the outpost building, the terrorist attacks like in the Cave of the Patriarchs. Do you think that Palestinians have a right to feel that type of upsetnedness, or do you think that it's a bit different on how it plays out for both sides?
Look, I'm looking for solutions which correspond with sociology. Otherwise, you get another Syria or Iraq or Sudan or Libya. The only solution which will give them stability, us security and them as well, is the Emirates solution. The PA, of course, is against it because it means to dismember the PA. Because by the PA, don't forget, is anyway an artificial structure which we built, which doesn't correspond to the sociology. The only thing is the Emirates in the cities of Judea and Samaria, Hebron, for the clans of Hebron, Jericho, Ramallah, Jenin, Nablus, Tulkarm and Kalkilia. Israel should forever remain in the rural areas, offer Israeli citizenship to the villagers. This will give them stability, just like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Because this is the clan system in the Middle East. The clan definitely, or usually, takes care of its own interests. And if they understand that they are now, have the choice between messing with us or flourishing like Dubai, they will choose to be Dubai.
Okay.
And will postpone the desires to see us evaporating, because we are not.
One more sociology question, and I'm curious. Do you feel like after 67, do you think that the mind of Israel, or the Jewish mind, or the Zionist mind, do you think it changed or became more ambitious in a good or bad way for territory in the West Bank? Or do you think that desire was always there?
Whatever in 1967 is actually the remedy for injustice which happened in 1948. Look, Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a Jewish capital for over 3,000 years. Way before Christianity came to the world, way before Islam came to the world. So Jerusalem should be under Jewish rule. I'm not denying any right of anybody else. Churches should flourish. Mosques should flourish. Even the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which originally is not here. The original Al-Aqsa is in Jordan, according to Islamic sources, not in Jerusalem. But never mind. It was brought to Jerusalem by the Umayyads, who wanted to divert the Hajj, from the pilgrimage, from Mecca to Jerusalem, because the Meccans rebelled in 682 CE. So they found Jerusalem as an alternative place for pilgrimage, and they bought claimed that the Al-Aqsa, which is in the Quran, Jerusalem doesn't. Al-Aqsa, which appears in the Quran, is actually in Jerusalem. And they concocted all these stories about Jerusalem in order to convince the people to come to Jerusalem. But so the whole thing about Jerusalem is concoction. So Jerusalem should be the Jewish capital with full honor to the other religions. I'm not denying anybody's right to worship, to pray, to do whatever he likes in Jerusalem, as long as she recognizes the Jewish history and the Jewish ownership of it. This is the only way. The only way out to get around this. And just to remind you, the only time which Jerusalem is accessible to everybody, Jews, Christian, Muslims, only when Jerusalem was under Jewish rule. When Jordanians were occupying illegally Jerusalem and the West Bank, Jerusalem was inaccessible. So, history proves.
Do you just, so one more time, do you think after 67, do you think the desire to have Jerusalem, do you think that changed significantly in Israel, or do you think the desire was always there, or?
Look, what happened in 67 because of the shock, which caught the Arab world because of the failure which they had, which couldn't be denied, the Arab nationalism actually was shown as an empty slogan, which Gamal Abdel Nasser, the head of the president of Egypt, tried to combat. So the alternative was Islamism. They left, or gradually they left the nationalism because it failed in front of Israel, and the alternative was going back to Islam. And when Islamism became more significant in the Middle East, the Jewish feeling of our became also higher because the challenge was religious. And after all, the struggle against us, the basis of this is religious. Because according to Islam, religion, the Jewish religion and the Christian, by the way, is not in void. Din batil, as they say in Arabic, while only Islam is din haq. The land is an Islamic land, which was given to us in a conspiracy between Christians, Lord Balfour, the evangelical minister of Britain, and this was a collaboration of Christians and Jews against Islam, the land, which is Islamic. Jews are not a nation, because according to the Islamic view, we are communities of all the nations in the world, and that's where we belong. And anyway, Jews and Christians should live under the Islamic rule as rulers with limited rights. So Israel, as a state of the Jews, has absolutely no right to exist, even if it was on a square centimeter on the seashore of Tel Aviv, according to the Islamic view. Because religion doesn't exist, Judaism doesn't exist, the land is Islamic, Jews are not a nation, and anyway they have to live under Islamic law. So, for them, settlement is not only Yitzhar and Itamar in Judea and Samaria, it's also the Iranian and Nahal Oz and Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is a settlement in their view. So, when we talk about settlements, about our definition, or American definition, or European definition, this is not the definition of the Middle East. The Middle East sees everything which was built here by Jews as a settlement, which is implicitly illegitimate. So, what are we negotiating? So let me just say,
Yeah.
the Middle East is run by three vectors. One is the clan system, or the clan culture, which is common for Muslims, Druze, Christians in many cases, Alawis, many other groups which in the Middle East, not only. And this culture is already hundreds of thousands of years old. The second vector is Islam, which came to the world only 14 centuries ago, in order to correct some problems of tribalism. And it pulls the Middle East to another direction, to the religious direction. The third vector is modernism, which infiltrated into the Middle East since 215 years ago, more or less. And these three horses are pulling the Middle Eastern wagon to three different directions. This is why it's so hard for Westerners who are thinking in a Western way to understand this system, which is pulled by three vectors.
I'm curious just on that three. When you look at a country like Saudi Arabia, which one of those three do you think they represent in your mind?
Saudi Arabia is representing a combination of religious pole on one side and the clan pole on the other side, some kind of conjunction between both, or mix of both. They take the modernism only when it comes to tools, car, cell phone, computer. They reject, usually, the Western values, freedom, democracy, equality, men and women, all these things. So they know very well how to pick from the third vector what serves
the other
goals,
two. Okay.
what undermines the two first ones, the clan system and the religious system.
Who do you? I'm just curious in terms of writing about like this balance of the Middle East. Have you ever written anything larger on it, or just?
Well, I published only one book because people prefer either articles or YouTube.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, the one book which I published is this, Assad in Search of Legitimacy, Message in Rhetoric in the Syrian Press under Hafez and Bashar. This is based on my PhD. It was published in 2005 by Sussex Academic Press. And it actually analyzes the Syrian press in order to understand how Assad, both father and son, Hafez and Bashar, think. And in my humble view, this is the best, of course, I hope. The best analysis of how the Syrian regime thinks.
Okay.
Because unlike Western countries where the press is free, there the press is directed by the government. And therefore the press actually expresses what the government wants, means what the president wants. Just like EKG, which you put on your body.
Yeah, I
you don't
understand.
have to penetrate your heart. It's enough that you put some electrodes and you analyze them. This is the same thing. Analyze what they say and you can understand, like reverse engineering. Analyze what they say to understand what they think. And I already predicted that this system named Syria cannot work forever. I didn't predict when and how it will erupt as it did in 2010, but definitely this system cannot work for a long time.
Okay. And then I'm curious, one more question. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure on this trip, I'm going to have the chance to talk with Shlomo Ben-Ami and with Balin. What do you think when I talk to those two? Because I'm curious, I'll ask them their opinions on this. What do you think their biggest contention is with your narrativization or your theory of how the Middle East works? What do you think they would disagree with you the most on?
Start with the fact that both of them do not speak Arabic.
Okay, yeah. That's okay.
Means they miss the main tool to understand their counterparts. And if you don't understand your counterpart for a negotiation, the chances that you make a big mistake are at least 100%.
Okay.
At least.
Wait, on that, so when you look at like big negotiations between Palestinians and Israelis, are there ever ordinarily people involved in these negotiations that are fluent in Arabic, or like for Camp David or for Oslo, or?
Unfortunately, not too many.
Okay.
Begin, in his time, had an advisor, actually my teacher, Professor Moshe Sharon. He spoke Arabic fluently. He was expert in Arabic. And as long as he was in office, he made sure that Begin doesn't make big mistakes.
Okay.
However, when the Egyptians understood that this man understands too much, they demanded to oust him from the Israeli crew. And unfortunately, Begin agreed.
And you said that guy's name was Moshe Sharon?
Moshe Sharon was his name.
Okay.
And those who actually pulled Begin was Dayan and Ezra Weizmann, who were great officers in the army,
But not
but
good.
understood very little in the Arab societies. Just like many, army people who think like tanks and cannons and air force and navy, but they understand very little about the societies which they have to deal with. And in my humble view, Israel and the Westerners will continue to make mistakes in the Middle East as long as they
给
don't
个评价吧。
take the sociology of the Middle East as the main tool to understand what to do and how to do in the Middle East. Failures like Iraq and Afghanistan will repeat themselves time and again until people learn the sociology of the Middle East and the languages of the Middle East.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Oh my God, look, he's at the perfect height for hugs. I've got it. Hi, baby. Kitty, no, come get hugs. Hi, baby. He's never, ever coming here. Hi, baby. Okay. Let's go.
You gotta pretend to have more